I wanted to name this segment "The War is Really Over." However, as we unpack the particulars and the situation going on in Gaza and Israel, I'm not too sure the war is actually over. But for now, Hamas and Israel have agreed to a peace agreement, and they've agreed to the particulars and how they're going to carry out um, the the prisoners, well, the hostage and prisoner swap. So they've agreed on the provisions and the implementation strategy. And phase one, which was announced by Donald Trump, the U.S. president, phase one includes the 50 hostages that Israel says that Hamas still has, and they believe about 20 are still living. So some of them have died while in under the control of Hamas. They expect those 20 to come back within 72 hours. So for that, for Israel getting the hostages back, Israel on their end has agreed to allow aid back into Gaza internationally, as well as Israel will also have a ceasefire. So Israel will stop bombing, and Gaza, Hamas will also stop bombing. So that should all take place within the next 72 hours. Once the hostages, all 50 have been received by Israel, then Israel will give up the prisoners that Hamas has, and then after that, they will go into the next part where Hamas has agreed that they will step out of power. So we discussed that last episode. One of the sticking points on the 20-point plan was that Hamas no longer be in control of the Palestinians. So they are stepping away from power. However, it gets a little tricky. They're supposed to dearm. They may be disarming, but that's still a point of contention. But they're at least going through with the first phase. So what both sides have said is we want a ceasefire. We're going to have a ceasefire. Hamas has said we'll give up the hostages. Israel has said in return they'll let the aid go back into Gaza, and they won't be dropping bombs. So we'll be having to follow to see if Hamas actually dearms. Now, since there's no bombs going off anymore, Israel has somewhat changed its stance towards Gaza, and they've said Netanyahu has extended his hand to Gaza through the peace treaty, but also other Middle Eastern countries such as Egypt, Jordan, believe Saudi Arabia. They helped with the mediation. So Israel has thanked them publicly, as well as Israel has said in general that they look forward to having peace. So I think this is important because I myself have covered how Israel was like devastating Gaza, and I've covered how sometimes Israel goes too far and may be seen as the aggressor. So now that Israel is getting the hostages back, which they said was their main goal, Netanyahu is at least presenting a positive and peaceful front. And based upon Hamas saying that they may not disarm, looking at this objectively, I can now look at this from a standpoint of, okay, I think these TikTokers on influence and people, Generation X, Generation Z, we need to look at this Middle Eastern situation neutral and objectively now and say there has been a peace agreement. So the bombs are stopped for now. If something is to begin, like if another war or more conflict breaks out, let's start from here, start from scratch. If it is Hamas, not Hamas, but, well, it could be Hamas. If it's Hamas or it's another militant or extreme Islam group, these same people saying free Palestine or calling Netanyahu, like myself, a war criminal, if it is the Islamics and the Muslims, extremists who commit the first act, just as vocal as we were against Israel, we should be vocal against the Muslim extremists and Hamas. Same thing. The bombs are supposed to be stopped. They've been in agreement. It's signed. Hostages are being traded. War prisoners are being traded. If for some reason we find out that Israel is bombing somewhere, we should hold Israel accountable and state there was a truce. No bombs should be dropping. So whoever's the aggressor whoever fires the next bomb should be seen as the aggressor. And the reason that this is actually important is that because as I was preparing for today's episode, I saw that even though there was an agreement last night, Trump announced the agreement last night, but even into the night, there were some bombs dropped by Israel on another part of Gaza. It was like, I believe, the north have this. I don't have the exact name of the region, but Al Jazeera has reported that Israel continued operations and bombed western areas of Gaza City. So I'm not as familiar with Gaza as maybe I should be, but from reading this, it makes me believe that the agreement and where the fighting was, there's a truce there, but Israel has now dropped bombs on another region in Gaza to the west. I thought it was the north, maybe it's the northwest. But so everyone is happy about this. The UN, America, Democrats, Republicans alike, everybody is, myself, is happy because people don't want to see innocent people die. So the hope is that this truce can last and that maybe other places that do have tension with Israel, maybe they are open to finding out how the U.S. or other Middle Eastern countries can help assist with creating greater stability in the Middle East. Because greater stability in the Middle East would help out worldwide in terms of gas prices as well as immigration and other things. When there's wars, people travel. A lot of people currently, and not a lot, but some conservatives are saying there's too much migration. Well, if you don't have war and famine, the people in the Middle East can stay in the Middle East. Same thing with gas prices and other economic things. When you have instability, the gas prices go up because we get gas from Middle East. We get some gas from Russia. But when Russia's fighting Ukraine and the Middle East is fighting amongst themselves, they're short on supplies. The demand is still high, so they raise the prices. So it's just better overall for Americans in the world if there is stability in the Middle East as well as some of the other regions. If you like this video, please smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. New shows airing Monday through Thursday.